Welcome back, everyone, for more Santa Lucia. So, I'm sorry for the wait. A lot has happened in my life. I know that's usually the thing that happens. I don't know. The past 2 years have been, really just, all over the place for me. I'm really sorry. Uh, Soon enough, I'm hoping that I can get back into a groove. I don't really want to get into too many details, but I'm going to be moving to another place. And a place where I actually have a lot more time to, record. Because I really haven't been able to do that much in my current situation, so I do apologize if this playthrough's been pretty slow. I've been hoping to continue on to other playthroughs soon, so hopefully, yes, I know, 2 years in, we're finally going to try and do something different, but, I mean, it's not 2 years yet, but it's getting there. But I do plan on doing different projects pretty soon, but of course I want to catch up on the Santa Lucia updates. I might see about catching up with Homecoming, but I do want to continue on to other things soon. So I just want to give you guys a heads up that new things are going to come soon. It'll be a little bit probably, because I do want to catch up on Santa Lucia. Do my best to catch up on Homecoming, though I can probably do other things while I'm catching up with Homecoming, since those updates aren't as consistent. So I can probably catch up while doing other things with that one. But at least with Santa Lucia, since that one's monthly, I do want to keep catching up with that one first. So anyways, I'm sorry for the rambling. So that's just a quick update I wanted to give before I continue. Last episode, we learned a little bit more about Bryan and his current situation. You know, he's clearly, man, he's really sweet. Especially when he was chatting with his mom and all that, and how his mom is very, it's pretty clear that there is a lot going on with Bryan. He's not just some dumb jock. He actually has a hard time with, being able to get stuff done. He also has almost a big brother vibe, to the point where he might be a little overprotective and a little hypocritical. That one, hopefully he'll be able to, learn a little bit from, because it is kind of weird how he's living a type of life that he doesn't want his sister to have, but, he doesn't really care about his situation. I don't know, but there's a little bit of implication where clearly, it came from, a bad experience or two. So, who knows? And we also got to hang out with the frat guys for a little bit. Actually, honestly, that was a really good time. Though Ben was stuck in a really weird situation, though. They didn't want to imply that he was gay, which is, I think it's more due to the fact that they don't want the connection of, Bryan and Ben having a thing, versus, because clearly, they didn't care about, people being gay in the frat, so it's more just distancing their FWB from the frat group. So, anyways, let's continue. I'm sorry for rambling so much. I really want to continue with this, so I'm really excited. I believe we're on September 28th. I close the book in front of me as softly as I can, making sure not to attract anyone's attention. With a long sigh, I look at my half-finished essay staring back at me from my laptop screen. Though half-finished is probably being optimistic. A quick glance at Carlos and Nate's screens. It's enough to put my meager word count to shame. And yet... How does this sound, Chris? Can you look at mine too? Let me see. I love how I give, Chris, this, very, I don't know, not posh, but almost this intentionally quirky voice where it's just oh golly gee, oh my, kind of voice. I don't know. Anyways, these guys are still calling on Chris all the time for assistance. What help do they need? They've already far outpaced me and Karina. The Aussie saunters over to their desks every time without fail, getting up from his desk and leaving behind the notebook he's been writing in for the past hour. It's not like I can deal with this assignment or anything. I don't harbor any negative feelings towards philosophy, although political philosophy is less engaging to me than the non-political stuff. Besides, I remember Thomas Hobbes from when I studied him back in high school. I don't exactly recall all of it, but the general ideas stuck around for some reason. I slapped my cheeks in an attempt to get me psyched up. Time to get back to the grind, Ben. I take a deep breath, reading my last sentence once again for the 100th time before continuing. Sorry. Hobbes made a big deal about authority and how it interacts with our natural states as humans. Chris? As if reading directions from a script, Karina signals to our mentor, who repeats the same actions he does every time. Coming! He closes his notebook again, straightens his shirt, then gets up from his chair. I'm not sure I understand the correlation between free will and this social contract thing. Chris seems to ponder for a second how best to phrase his reply. When he finds an answer, his ears perk up. Free will is an intrinsic part of our state of nature, and something everyone possesses in equal measure. He scratches his chin for a moment. According to Hobbes, free will is tempered by a given set of rules laid out by a certain authority. Society cannot function if everyone is allowed to do whatever they want all the time without consequence. So, in order to achieve the best lives we can, we all willingly sacrifice a portion of our free will to the central authority. Does that make sense? It does, but I don't really agree with his point of view. I can see Karina is about to add her own thoughts to the mix, much to Chris's chagrin. I turn my attention to the rest of the classroom. The other two continue to plug away on their keyboards. Nate is a noticeably faster typer than Carlos, but the Tiger's no slouch either. Shame Bryan couldn't be here today. Not like he'd have enjoyed this assignment much. I'm so used to having him around now. Feels empty when he's not here. Not much I can do about it, though. Football practice is starting to get more intense. They've had an away game every weekend so far this season. We do our best to make up for loss during the week, but it sucks not being able to have them for myself on Saturdays and Sundays. Listen to yourself, man. Stop being selfish. You see him plenty enough already. There's no reason to be greedy. I stretched my arms out and leaned back in my chair. Chris managed to separate himself from Karina and is now dealing with Carlos, who doesn't seem to be having a great time. To be fair, with his perpetual frown, it's hard to tell if he's having a good time or not. On the other hand, there's Nate, who's clacking away at his computer. I watch in awe as his fingers fly over the keyboard with practice finesse. I wouldn't be surprised if he's finished his essay before lab gets out, to be honest. Lucky fox. With one last groan, I finish stretching. The tingle's soon replaced by another feeling. Well, hopefully Bryan and I can get more alone time tonight. I can't wait to see him later. I wasn't able to get much work done before lab ended. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I do my best work at home anyway. And home is the one place I want to be right now. After making sure I say goodbye to everyone in the group, we part ways and head in our own directions down the hall. It's nice finishing early on a Friday. It means my weekend starts that much earlier. I make my way out to the SciComm building and into the sunlight. A cool breeze cuts its way through my fur and tickles my skin. Yo, Ben! Before I'm able to make more than a few steps, I'm stopped in my tracks by a familiar voice. Turning around to face them, I see a figure standing up from the steps by the door. The wolf quickly stuffs something in his bag before hopping to my side. Hey, Kane, how's it going? He nods before he even speaks. A grin is plastered all over his face. I'm doing awesome. How are you, man? He seems like he's in a good mood. I'm doing okay. Thanks. What's with the ambush, though? I smirk at him. Were you waiting for me? Maybe a bit presumptuous to ask, but I was, actually. Oh. Yeesh. Hope that wasn't too offensive then. I remember you mentioned your class schedule earlier. You and Bryan had the same mentor, so it wasn't hard to figure out where you were. I promise I wasn't stalking you. Don't worry, I was just kidding. I let out a nervous laugh. Think before you speak next time, you dumb cat. It's not like this would even qualify as stalking anyways. Kane opens his bag and rummages through it, giving me a good look at what's inside. Can't help but sneak a peek. There's a handheld game console. Scratch that and make it too. And there's a lot of cables. Guess waiting around is never an issue for him, huh? I had something I wanted to give you in person. His tail's wagging. Clearly he's excited by whatever he wants to show me. Ah, here we go. He pulls out a small brown envelope, then promptly hands it over to me with a big smile. Ta-da! Thanks. I take the letter, dumbfounded. What is it? I didn't think that the frat would use letters to communicate with people. Seems a little old-fashioned if you ask me. You know what it is. Instead of a straight answer, Kane pats me on the back. I gotta run, but I'll see you around, Ben. He turns around, ready to take his leave. But before he goes, he looks back at me with a wink. Glad to have you aboard. See you later, Kane. I stand there, letter in hand. Soon the gears start to turn my brain. No way. My stomach flutters with excitement. Without wasting another second, I tear into the envelope and free the letter that's inside. I scan it as fast as I can. Holy crap. I've been lying in bed for a couple hours. My heart hasn't stopped racing since I got that letter. I still can't quite wrap my head around it. There must have been dozens of applicants too. And yet, somehow boring old me got in? This has to be fate, or whatever it is Karina has always been going on about. Getting admitted into USL was already crazy enough. There's nothing special about me that justifies me getting accepted. Hell, I even thought it was a mistake that I'd get an email from the staff letter apologizing for a mix-up the day before I flew. Now, I'm getting into a big-name frat. This feels somehow both exhilarating and absolutely nerve-wracking. I'll have to prove I was the right choice for them. God, I hope Bryan got in too. I'd feel like absolute shit if he didn't make it, since it was the whole whole idea in the first place. What would I even do? Turn down the offer so he doesn't get jealous? That wouldn't be a great idea. Maybe I could put in a good word for him down the line. I just don't want anything getting between us. Not while everything's going so well. A sound echoes into the empty room, snapping me out of my anxiety-induced stupor. I look down at the phone beside me and notice it's a text from Bryan. Speak of the devil. Probably better to wait until we're face-to-face before I ask him if he got a letter. Done with practice. I can feel the butterflies in my stomach waking up already. Another message buzzes in my phone. Gonna hit the showers. A flood of images pass through my mind. All these hot football players. But the only one that has my attention is Bryan. I hastily type up a reply. Nice. Definitely wouldn't mind taking a shower with him. I'll swing by after. We can get some food at the UC. Sound good? Yeah, I'm down. I'm more than down. Great. See you then. Catch you in a bit. I gently place the phone down once our conversation is finished. Well, this day is going a lot better than I expected. I don't think Bryan's ever seen my room, now that I think about it. Not that it's anything special, but him being here is kind of making me feel giddy. I straighten myself back up and scan the room. Nothing seems too out of place. No stray pair of underwear, no unsightly pile of clothes. Oops. I kick a lone sock underneath my bed. Yep, everything looks good now. I lay down in my bed, happy with the state of the room. Guess I got some time to kill before Bryan shows up. Back to browsing random stuff on my phone. A knock on the door stirs me out of my half asleep state. I jump out of bed and head straight for it. With a confident swing, I open it and reveal Bryan's goofy grin. Sup, Ben? Come in, dude. Bryan steps inside. A faint but pleasant vanilla scent trails in behind him. He looks noticeably better than usual. He already looks fantastic normally. Welcome to my humble abode. He chuckles at my sarcastic welcome. Dork. I'm about to give him a tour of the place when he plops himself down on my bed. I raise an eyebrow. Wow, you're bold. Now you're gonna make sure it's mine first? Would be kinda awkward if it were Zach's, wouldn't it? Bryan waves away my fake concern. Nah, it's pretty easy to tell which side is which. Unless you're the only guitar player in the world who doesn't make it their whole personality. I don't see why you'd have a guitar next to your bed. Oh. Guess I didn't know Zach left it out of the bag. Hope it doesn't get scratched. Or any more scratched than it already is, I suppose. Besides, his side of the room is cleaner. What? No, it's not. We're basically the same. On the surface, maybe. I'm about to protest his horrible attack on my character when the panda pulls something out from under his leg. But he doesn't have dirty underwear just sitting around on his bed. Don't try to deny it. These are totally yours. You were wearing them last time we fucked. His characteristic smirk grows snarkier, having found a fatal weakness to tease me with. How the hell did I not notice that? Was I lying on it? I snatched the incriminating evidence from his hands, tossing it into the laundry basket nearby. It's okay, Ben. Nothing I haven't seen before. I plant myself on his lap, staring daggers at him. Oh, so that's how it is, huh? Can't handle it, so you gotta shut me down somehow? I wrap my arms around his neck as he rests his hands on my waist. You could say that. He smells really good, though. Hard to focus on strangling him when his scent is so intoxicating. He plants a quick smooch on my lips before giving my thigh a good squeeze. I wasn't planning anything specific when I climbed on him, but right now he's really turning me on. Better enjoy it while I can, so it's not like we'll see each other this weekend. Stupid football. Why do they have to fly everywhere all the time? It's not fair. Crap! I hear the sound of keys jingling in the lock behind us. Dua? I get up from Brian's lap in a hurry, almost tripping over his legs and kneeing him in the groin. A hooded figure enters the room as I sit on my chair at my desk. The dragon blinks and raises his hand when he notices my guest. Oh. Hey, Brian. Brian flashes him one of his trademark smirks and gets up to greet him. Sup, dude? How's it hanging? To my surprise, Zach doesn't back away like he usually does when faced with an unexpected situation. Hey, Brian. He approaches the panda at a safe pace and shakes his outstretched hand. I'm doing okay. And you? He puts his hand back in his pocket and feigns a smile. Doing great. The brief exchange over, the dragon places his bag by his bed and sits on his chair. I can't blame anyone but myself here. Should have realized he would be coming back soon. I didn't expect you to be back so early. Damn it, though. I was looking forward to having a little fun with Brian right now. Oh well. No use crying over spilled milk. Brian and I are about to head down to the UC to grab some dinner. Zach nods as he's about to take off his hood, but stops himself when he realizes the panda's still in the room. Sounds good to me. I'm about to ask him something, but Brian cuts me off. Want to come with us? Thanks, Brian. I was going to ask that, but you kind of make me look like a dick. Zach looks up at the panda, considering the offer for a moment. There's a hint of regret in his voice when he speaks up. Sorry. I already got some food in my bag. Probably a box of chicken strips from the marketplace. If he's not stuffing his face with pizza, it's usually chicken strips. No worries then. We can go together sometime. He nods again and smiles. It's hard to tell with him, but I almost get the impression he likes the idea. Well, we'll probably get going before the line gets too long. Catch you later. With a soft see ya, Zach turns to face his computer. We make our way out of the room and down the stairs. Good thing he arrived when he did. Really? I kind of like where we were going. Any later, he probably would have caught you bouncing on my car. Okay. Wow. I interrupt him before he finishes his sentence and do a quick scan of our surroundings. There's nobody nearby, fortunately. I punch the giggling panda in the shoulder, but only serves to amplify his laughter. What? I ain't lying. Shut up. You're the worst. Ugh. I won't lie, though. Part of me kind of likes being teased this way. I think Brian's aware of that, too. Shows just how close we've gotten, I think. The sun sets behind the school buildings as we make our way to the UC. I know I wanted to talk to Brian about something, but I can't quite remember what it was. I set my plate down on an empty table with Brian at my side. The cafeteria isn't too crowded tonight. I noticed that a good number of students don't stick around on campus during the weekends. Some head back to their real homes, others commute to work, and others take trips. Friday evenings in particular seem to be the quietest of all. So, you got yourself a whole ass plate for just a sandwich? I hold a finger up as I sit down. Hey, it's a really good sandwich. That kind of stuff deserves its own plate. He scoffs at the notion, setting down his teriyaki bowl beside my plate. I hope it's good if you're always getting it. I'd question your taste otherwise. I try my best to convey theatrical offense to his retort, but my mouth's too busy biting into the delicious crust. You know, bread makes you fat, right? Bryan splits a pair of chopsticks while smirking at me. I roll my eyes at the panda. I'm sure I can allow a little bread in my diet with tomorrow's marathon. Right, that's tomorrow, huh? Can't say I'll regret missing it, though. I finished swallowing the slightly too big bite I took. I figured you'd be into marathons since you're such an athlete. Looks away as he slurps some noodles. I like sports, sure, but running for running's sake? Hard pass. I raise my eyebrow, which prompts him to explain his logic. See, in football, running isn't the main focus. Having stamina is important, don't get me wrong. But coach would strangle me if I skipped endurance training. But running for fun? It's just that. Running. He puts down his bowl and wipes his mouth with a tissue. I know me. I just get bored. Plus, it takes forever. More power to you if you're into that. I take a moment to consider his perspective before speaking up. I guess I see what you mean. Me, I've always been good at running, so I kind of fell into it. I find it helps clear my mind, so it's a lot like meditation in a way. So you're totally hyped to run for hours straight then? Sorry, I forgot it was Ben, not Bryan. I shrugged my shoulders. Can't exactly lie and say I'm thrilled to be doing it. Karina's into it. I'm just tagging along. He chuckles at my dismay expression. I'll keep you in my thoughts and prayers then. He scratches under his chin for a second. If I recall, I think a few of our Chi Pi Beta brothers are into it. Could be a good way to make an impression. Oh, right. The wandering thought suddenly came back to me. Speaking of, did you get a letter from them? Bryan finished chewing before he answers. Yeah, I totally did after practice. The rabbit guy Thomas delivered it to me personally. I feel so honored. I didn't get the chance to open it, but judging by what he said, I doubt it's a letter of refusal. Sweet, I got one too from Kane. I take mine out of the bag, brandished it proudly. His eyes widen for a sec, but he recomposes himself right away. No shit? No shit. Fuck yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about. I knew we'd get in. Who wouldn't like two studs like us? Right? Bryan puts his hand on my leg as he speaks in a soft baritone voice. Guess that makes us brothers now, eh? My mind is swimming with ideas. I cross my arms, faking a judgmental attitude. Somehow I feel incest would be something the other brothers would frown upon. He's about to say something else as his hands glides ever upward, but someone interrupts our conversation. Ugh. What's this I hear about you pussies getting to a frat? Bryan turns around to greet the intruder, but I can't help but roll my eyes. I already recognize that voice. I thought I was a special one getting into one, but maybe they let all their standards fall. Diego's toothy grin is met with the usual verbal sparring. Shit, man. At least I didn't have to sleep with the entire fraternity to get in. The crocodile sits down in front of us, focusing his attention solely on Bryan. Give me some credit, dog. I only need to screw like 2 dudes tops. He winks at the panda, which makes my stomach silently gurgle. The rest were just extra. Do what? You have to find the right guys, is all. Blech. Can't say I ever liked Diego. Well, I can't blame you, dude. Some of those guys are pretty hot. He definitely has a weird influence on Bryan. I'd give Thomas a ride of his life. Oh, come on, man. Who's Thomas? The panda's eyebrows raise at their mutual confusion. The rabbit guy? He's the one we met during Rush Week. Pretty sure he's a high-ranking member of Chi Pi Beta. Diego's smile returns once the confusion is cleared up, but something seems to dim his usual shit-eating grin. That's what I thought. I didn't pledge for them. Do what? I pledged for... Oh, God, you can't do this to me. You can't do this to me. I don't know my fucking, Greek. Like... We're just gonna skip that, okay? First it's the German, and now it's the Greek. Bye. And then it's also the French, too. Like, all of it. Like, you can't expect country white boy like me to understand this shit. Bye. I'm sorry. Bryan's brow furrows. What is this I'm seeing? Disappointment? Anger? What the shit? I thought we'd go for the same one. Diego shrugs his shoulders in the most nonchalant way possible. Sorry, I guess. Didn't think you'd stick with those guys. No offense to you both, since you're with them now, but, he makes a grimace before continuing. They're kinda lame. Excuse me? All this talk about being straight edge and shit? Fucking hard pass, no thanks. You could have told me, you know. Would have, but you were already too invested in that one. He shrugs his shoulders yet again. This isn't a very good look for either of us. From what I understand, both our frats hate each other's guts. Long-standing feud or something, I don't know. I decided to try and include myself in the conversation. I hate how these two leave me out of it every time they meet. Why do they hate each other? Beats me, I ain't asking. Probably just a difference in perspective. The croc smirks again. Mine's all about that sweet, sweet partay. If you catch my drift. I think I do. Yeah. What a sleazeball. Well, I hope you have fun at your partays. I can tell Bryan isn't too happy right now. There's a lot of venom behind those words. Maybe even something else. Jealousy? Bro, I'm gonna have more than just fun. If I wake up and I ain't balls deep in someone, I'd consider that a bad day. He starts laughing uncontrollably at Bryan's expense. Ugh. Impulsive. Anyway, catch you on the flip side, bro. Yeah. See you later. Diego saunters off, but he only takes a few steps before he turns around. Call me whenever you want to have some actual fun. Without waiting for a reply, he leaves. I really don't like that guy. At least he isn't in our frat, so I don't have to pretend to like him either. I glance in Bryan's direction. He hastily finishes the rest of his teriyaki bowl. He's not actually considering it, is he? Fuck, I hope he isn't. He can do way better than that guy. Hell, I'm sitting right here. At least I can go behind his back like this. Ugh, what am I even talking about? Bryan and I are just friends. Who cares who he sleeps with? As long as he's doing it safely, it doesn't affect me. We're just friends. Friends who have sex, but just friends. Right? I finished the last bite of my sandwich and decided to take a break to break the silence between us. So, you up for anything tonight? He stares at me for a couple of seconds, still deep in thought and processing what I just said. Do I? Oh, yeah. I'm down. Score. He snaps his fingers as something jolts back into the front of his mind. Ah, shit. Wait. My roommate's here tonight. He's not going anywhere this weekend. Oof. That sucks. I'd offer we do it in my room. But with Zach's schedule, there's no telling if he'd be there. Or if he'll drop in while we're in the middle of something. I can't host either. Sorry. He holds his hand behind his head and stretches. Yeah, you've mentioned why before. Oh well. It's not a big deal. Just means we'll save up for after the weekend, right? I nod. Still a bit disappointed. Sounds good to me. We make our way back to the dorms under the cover of night. Before parting ways in the hall, I wish him good luck in the game this weekend. As I'm walking up the stairs, I can't help but feel something gnawing away at me. How many people has he slept with exactly? The thought hasn't really crossed my mind before, but Bryan is clearly someone who knows his way around sex. Diego's definitely cut of the same cloth, too. These guys have thoroughly played the field in more ways than one. Whoops. Meanwhile, Bryan is only my second. That's kind of pathetic. I wonder if he can tell how inexperienced I am. Would he prefer doing it with Diego instead? Is he pretending that I'm Diego when we're having sex? Hell, for all I know, maybe they're planning something in a hotel wherever their next game is. I don't have a monopoly on Bryan after all. I knew that going in, yet somehow there's something that burns inside my chest. Maybe I should get over it. Get it over with and meet up with someone else from that app, like the plan was from the beginning. Getting more experience wouldn't hurt, and maybe it'll help me with what I'm feeling right now. What am I even thinking? I've got a good thing going here. Bryan even initiated, so I know he's into it. And he's more likely into me as well. I really don't want to complicate this any further than it needs to be. Anyway, with that marathon tomorrow, I should probably consider getting to bed early. Tired or not, I'm pretty sure Karina's gonna drag me out of bed. So hope everything goes well. Karina! I let out a loud groan as I shambled towards my best friend. You didn't tell me it was going to cost $80 to register. What do you mean? It was on the flyer for the marathon. It's not my fault if you didn't know how to read, dude. I give her the side eye as she bends forward to touch her toes. Looking around me, I see there's at least 100 runners who showed up to this. Apparently we're running a half marathon course that trails down the Santa Lucia coastline. Ugh, 13 miles of running straight. Can't believe I let you talk me into this. Stop being such a sourpuss. It's gonna be fun. You're just grumpy because I had to wake you up at 5:30 this morning. Yeah, whatever. I do my best to imitate the stretches Karina is doing. I'm not as limber as I used to be, but it seems she hasn't missed a beat over the past few years. You know, regular people use the weekends to relax and unwind. And we must be the most regular people of all, Ben. Lighten up. We did this before when we were younger. Yeah, but that was only 10 kilometers. That took, like, what? An hour at best? I can handle that, but half a full marathon is pretty nuts. Ugh, don't be that way. Look at it like this. You get to spend time with your best friend doing something you love. Well, something she loves, at least. I could take it or leave it. Whatever you say, Karina. Let's focus on our warm-ups, okay? Right on. From what I understand, the expected completion time for this course is about 2.5 hours. That's a lot of running for sure. I guess there's supposed to be a mini fair happening close to the finish line too, so at least there's something else to do while we're out. I wish it wasn't that cold this morning though. The coastal breeze reminds me a lot of the chilling wind in Chicago. Malcolm, we're over here! Karina cups her hands over her mouth and yells, then waves wildly towards someone in the crowd. She manages to catch the attention of a chubby bear who breaks away from everything and makes his way towards us. Oh, I'm so glad he can make it, babe. I do my best not to judge what I'm seeing too harshly. The big bear walks up to Karina, wearing a baseball cap backwards and his hands stuffed in his jacket pockets. Sup, Car? Ben, this is Malcolm. He's my boyfriend. Malcolm, this is Ben. He turns to me and smiles. Sup? He nods at me, so I reciprocate. Nice to meet you, Malcolm. You can call me Mac. Mac it is then. Karina's told me a lot about you. She has. She looks away, almost as if... You're the gay one, right? She's expecting something. Malcolm, I told you that in confidence. So he is. I give Karina the stink eye. First she invites me to this event, and now she's outing me behind my back. Wait a minute. Which one? You gotta have a lot of gay friends, babe. Karina, what the heck? I couldn't help it. It's too weird of a coincidence not to talk about. There's you, Bryan, and Nate. Right. Now I remember. He said Nate's the guy who sang a duet with that one girl at the orientation party. Bryan's the football jock. He looks back at me with a smirk. Then you're Benny Boy, the childhood friend who ghosted her for 3 years. I let out a brief sigh while finishing my warm-up. Yep, that's me. Not really one for tact, this guy. It's nice seeing Karina on the back step right now. Can we change the subject, Mac? Seemingly satisfied with his display of knowledge about Karina's friends, He returns his attention to his girlfriend. Sure, what's on your mind? I think the marathon's about to start soon. What time is it? Mac doesn't have much to do. Mac doesn't have to do too much, sorry. He was already holding his phone in his pocket since he pulls it along with his right hand. About 7:45. Oh, we start in 15 minutes. The bear leans in, kisses Karina on the cheek. Good luck, babe. You said the finish line is out by the marina, right? I'll see you there in a couple hours. The bear turns around and starts heading for the parking lot. You're not gonna stay and watch the beginning? Are you kidding? I'm freezing my nuts off over here. Good luck with the run, though. I raise an eyebrow. Nice meeting you, Benny boy. Ugh. Once he's out of earshot, I look over at Karina. Did you really have to tell him my nickname? She shrugs her shoulders and frowns. I guess he's not a great secret keeper. Doesn't make him any less cute, right? I roll my eyes and smile. Whatever works for you. Don't dismiss me like that. I'll admit, he's not bad looking. His personality probably takes a lot of getting used to. At least he's a lot less of a phony compared to that Ahmed guy. Oh my god, is that Karina and Ben? My ears perk up when I recognize a high-pitched southern accent mentioning our names. It totally is! I cringe a bit when I notice Chris is trailing behind her. Chris? Shay? What a surprise. Why didn't you tell me you were going... Oh, sorry. Why didn't you tell me you were you were joining the marathon, doll? We could have been trained together this whole time. I can't do her voice. I'm so sorry, everyone. Bye. Oh, you know... I didn't think you'd be interested, that's all. The white wolf flaps her ponytailed hair and smiles at her roommate. Didn't I mention I used to be on the gymnastics team in high school? Maybe. Probably just slipped my mind. Drat. Karina gives me a peculiar look that tells me everything I need to know. She deliberately didn't tell Shay about this. Sorry, but it seems fate has had other plans. How ironic, you two signing up for the same event then. Maybe I wouldn't have to be here if you did this together. Chris whispers something under his breath. I didn't know you were a runner too, Chris. Oh, not really. I'm doing this for Shay. Oh, isn't he just the sweetest? Shay reaches up and pets Chris on the back of his head. He leans into it while trying to stay cool. His tail betrays what he's really feeling, though. This is surprisingly bold for these two, considering they're keeping their relationship under wraps. I'll have you know my boyfriend is here, too. He just got cold and went back to his car. It's no big deal. Wait a minute. You know these two are dating? But when did that happen? I thought I was the only one. I've known since the beginning, doofus. What? What do you mean? This whole time, I believed I was keeping a secret. Karina was the first one I asked for advice, Ben. We spent the whole bus ride to Cambrian talking about it. Let's see. So still, try to keep it between you two. You're the only ones that know about it. Do I trust you on that, or am I gonna literally, or am I gonna find out literally everyone else is in on this secret too? Gah! Jeez, dude, chill out. You're being such a buzzkill this morning. Rub my eyes, trying to chase away the bad mood exhaustion. Right. Okay. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so excited to know where you're running. What times are you aiming for? Oh, I'm not aiming for anything specific. I just want to finish and get this over with. I'm just gonna take this at my own pace, too. I don't exactly run as a hobby like you three. I'm pretty sure I can make it into the top 10 at least. I've been training for this for quite some time. Images of Karina on the treadmill enter my mind. Yeah, no kidding. Oh, I'm aiming for somewhere in that range myself. Karina's demeanor suddenly changes. Excuse me? You think you can keep up with me? I'll have you know, running isn't just a hobby for me. I was born to run. Then may the best woman win. You're on, Missy. The girls split off from us and head for the starting line. Wow, those two are surprisingly competitive. You're telling me. Chris scratches behind one of his ears. So, how have classes been? Are you staying on top of your on top of your homework? Are you getting along with the others? Chris, I hold a hand up and stop him in his tracks. Yes? It's the weekend. Can you try not being my mentor for a bit? What do you mean? Man, I had my suspicion. This guy confirms it. He's so clueless. Let's cut the crap and have a real conversation. You do know how to do that, right? Oh my god, Ben. I'm not sure I follow. I bury my face in my palm. This is gonna take some work. You can't wear that mentor mask forever, dude. Right now, we're just two guys hanging out on a cold, breezy morning. Freezing our nuts off. I'm actually quite warm. I shake my head. That's not my point. What I'm saying is, can we talk to each other like friends? And not like whatever the school wants us to be? He stops for a moment, not responding any further. Not everything has to be this big performance, Chris. He goes quiet and stares down at the floor. I hope I didn't offend him or something. Ladies and gentlemen, the marathon is about to start. I don't know. Please take your positions at the starting line. A voice calls out from a megaphone on the other side of the crowd. Sounds like we should get going, huh? Right. Seeing as how Shay and Karina are already lined up towards the front of the pack, I see no reason why Chris and I can't take somewhere in the back. We're not aiming for a quick time, so might as well kick back and smell the roses. And maybe I'll be able to crack the enigma that is Chris Davenport. I find myself passing the 1 mile mark around 10 minutes into the marathon. A large crowd of people surround the road and cheer on the runners as they pass. So far so good. I'm not feeling much of a burn yet, though that's probably because I'm not pushing myself too hard. Chris, on the other hand. Poor guy. I slowed my pace to match his, but even this seems to be a bit too much for him. There's no shame in slowing down if you need to. I'm fine. Just need to breathe. Yeesh. I hope you'll be able to handle the full 13 miles. As for Karina and Shay, they pulled ahead of the pack quite early in the run. They certainly seemed to have a rivalry going on. Here I was thinking Brian and Carlos were bad. A bit of a pain too, if I'm being honest. For all of Karina's bloviating about us hanging out, she sure isn't spending much time with me today. Guess having a good time is more important to her or something. Even though she's the one who dragged me into this kicking and screaming. I imagine it's the same way for Chris. You holding up there, buddy? Yeah. He does his best to steady his breathing. And you? Pretty good, actually. Usually these things knock me out fast, but keeping pace with you has helped me conserve energy. I'm not holding you back, am I? I shake my head. No, I wasn't aiming for a good time anyway. That's good. Silence soon grows between us. So, tell me about yourself, Chris. I don't think we've ever had time together as just dudes, you know? He seems at a loss for words. Man, do they really train mentors not to fraternize with their mentees? Seems like it should be the opposite. Kika! It's not like that. Well, maybe a little. They do tell us to maintain professionalism at all times. I guess I never expected any of you to take an interest in me. I raise an eyebrow. Why wouldn't we? You're a mentor. I don't know, I was always the quiet guy who sat in the back. It's not something I'm used to dealing with. I see. I remember how it was for me back in Bernard Academy, especially as a transfer student. I guess I can relate. You do? I nod my head. Take your time. I'm not trying to pressure you or anything. It's just kind of boring to run so long without having anyone to talk to. What about Karina? I shrug my shoulders. Haven't seen her since the marathon started. Yeah, and I haven't seen Shay either. Well, think about what I said. I'm all ears if you want to talk. Okay. All this talking seems to be taking a toll on Chris. I might need to slow down. Sorry. No problem, dude. I'll probably slow down myself down the line. I'm gonna keep going, though. Okay. See you in a bit. I hear the Aussie gasping for air as he slows down to a trot behind me. I've got a bit more energy in me still. Huh. If he's such a quiet guy, I wonder what inspired him to become a mentor. About another mile in, I find myself running along a road, and I vaguely remember from earlier this month. I feel like Russell drove me down this way when we went out for burgers. Yeah, pretty sure that's the museum he pointed out, too. What was it he said about it? Something about a ghost exhibit? A bit further up the road and off to the side, I see a middle-aged woman hunched over with her hands on her knees. Looks like she might be hyperventilating. Hey, is everything alright? The rabbit woman looks up at me. Oh, these old bones aren't what they used to be. From what I can tell, she seems like she could easily be pushing her late 50s. That being said, she also looks extremely fit for her age. Is there anything I can do to help? Oh, you're so sweet. I really appreciate the concern, but... Ah! She takes another deep breath. Perhaps my glory days are behind me. She wears an expression full of regret. I think I'll take a small break. Okay. She starts making her way towards a side alley. I could send someone to help if you'd like. Don't worry about it. I'll be fine. You go on ahead. I nod and continue making my way up the road. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the woman rest her back against the wall in the alley. I hope she'll be alright. I think I see the halfway checkpoint. After leaving downtown, the marathon route led me along a very high-end suburb overlooking the ocean. I'm definitely seeing a lot more of Santa Lucia than I ever have, even with that mini tour Russell gave me. I see there's a group of people handing out water bottles to joggers passing by close to the checkpoint. That would be nice to have. I changed course slightly so I pass by them. Here you go. Thank you so much. Without a second thought, I twist open the top part and start chugging. Blah. Man, I was thirstier than I thought. It's a little after 9 a.m. by this point, but it's still cold out here. It doesn't help that the sun hasn't burned through the overcast yet. Chris, wait up! Look over my shoulder and see that Chris is gaining on me. Well, I didn't expect you to catch up so soon. I must really be going slow. That's kind of mean to say. I didn't mean it like that. She's right, mate. I almost respond with confusion before I remember that's what Chris says sometimes. I'm sorry for clamming up earlier. I thought about what you said, and I think you're right. I should try being more open and candid with my mentees. I know I can be a bit weird sometimes, though. Yeah, you kind of remind me of some guys I knew growing up. I won't go into details about them, though. Being compared to Jason or Mikey isn't exactly flattering. I do? Yeah, totally. That's exciting! I hope they were cool. They were... Phew. Did the sun come out? It's suddenly kind of warm. I'll do my best, but honestly, I'm not the most interesting guy in the world. Who says you have to be? Do I look like I am? Oh, you're interesting to me, Ben. I wag a finger in front of me. Remember what I said about treating me like an equal? Right. Sorry. Well, you're not interesting to me. Not at all. Not in the slightest. Is that better? I can't help but smirk. Close enough. I give him a thumbs up. Nice. We continue together for a few paces as I slow down to match Chris's trot. So you really want to open up, huh? I'll give it a try. Yeah. Alright then. Tell me a bit about yourself. I know you're from Australia, but where specifically? I'm from the Sydney area. The place with the opera house? You know about it? I guess. I don't know, that's pretty much it. The world famous Sydney Opera House. I've never been there, but we've driven past it a lot. I imagine it's pretty expensive, yeah. I remember you mentioned you were majoring in computer science. Weren't you looking into game design or something? I am. I'm Glad you remembered. Nobody seemed to be paying attention when I was talked about during orientation. Sorry about that. I'm not mad or anything. Just surprised. His face lights up. I've always had an affinity for computers that I can't explain. I was the tech quiz at my high school. Whenever something broke down and needed fixing, I knew exactly what needed to be done. The teachers called on me pretty often for help. That's pretty interesting, actually. I'll have to keep you in mind since my laptop seems to be on its last legs. There's not much I can do with a giant computer, Ben. Oh. Well, crap. I know a lot of tricks to help get the most of however much time it has left, though. That could be helpful. Anyway, I'm a pretty avid gamer. I used to have a team. I was a part of back home. What games did you play? Pretty much everything. Played shooters, real-time strategy games, fighting games. We got really good at Call of War Modern Combat. I probably could have gone pro if I stuck with it. Why didn't you? He goes quiet and slows down his running pace. I realize the answer isn't an easy topic for him. Sorry, I didn't mean to pry. No, it's okay. I stopped around the time my dad died. He looks off towards the ocean horizon. Chris. He perks back up, though there's still a tinge of sadness in his expression. It's not your fault. You didn't know. He died from pancreatic cancer when I was 15. That's how old I was when Jess died. I'm sorry. Losing a close family member like that really fucks you up. I would know. You do? Yeah. I was around the same age when my older sister died in a car accident. Oh, Ben, I'm so sorry. Thanks. I take a deep breath. It's not easy, but every day puts a little more distance between me and them. It does, yeah. I guess that's the one thing we have in common. If you ever want to talk about it, Ben, I'm here for you. As a friend or as my mentor? Can it be both? I struggle to hold back a chuckle. Yeah, I guess it can. Cool. So, do you have any other family members? I try to steer into a more comfortable topic. I do. I have a mom and stepfather, and there's my little brother and older sister. Oh, you're a middle child. Yep. How big are the age gaps? The one between me and my sister was pretty large. My sister's about 4 years older than me. She's getting married soon, actually. They have it scheduled for when I fly back home for Christmas. Congratulations. Thanks. I'm so happy for her. My brother's pretty young. He's actually my stepbrother. He just turned 12 earlier this summer. He's pretty good at video games too. I'm sure a lot of kids his age are. So what made you choose USL for school? Isn't it kind of expensive to be an international student? Why did I choose USL? To my surprise, he actually has to think about it. I guess I always wanted to live in the United States. even if it's just for a little bit. When we visited, I really liked the atmosphere and the campus culture. Fair enough. I'm actually a legacy student in here. You are? Yeah, my dad got his undergrad degree here too. Oh, that's so cool. You must have got a lot of scholarships because of it. Yeah, something like that. I still have an explanation why they would accept such a painfully average student like me. My mom and stepfather make enough to pay for my tuition, but they're not in my head in understanding. It's not enough to cover everything. It's not so bad, though. I get to be a mentor for a bunch of cool people. And weekends at the cafe help pay for my books and groceries. I'm glad you have a system figured out, dude. He gets bashful all of a sudden and rubs behind his head. Thanks. Anything else you'd like to know? This is actually kind of fun. Do you have any other hobbies besides video games? I used to be pretty big in photography. That's how I found out about USL, in fact. Oh, really? Yeah. There was this photo contest for junior photographers and for a magazine I used to subscribe to. The prize was a full scholarship to USL, along with a brand new brand new high-end camera model. I tweaked my ears to the side and scoff. They actually had a contest reward like that? It's not that weird, is it? I shrug my shoulders. It just seems a bit odd for the school, that's all. Well, it got my attention. I didn't win, but I still ended up wanting to go to USL in the end. Do you still do photography? I never see you wandering around with a camera. He trails off, clearly thinking about something. I used to, but I sort of stopped last semester. Oh? How come? It's weird, but I just lost all motivation to do it anymore. What happened? I don't know. A girl I knew got involved with a guy I was friends with, and it didn't end well. My ears perk up at this. They looked so cute together, too. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I know what he's talking about. Now's my chance to get more information on this. This guy wouldn't happen to be Russell, would it? Bingo. I really shouldn't say. I run up in front of him and start backpedaling. Chris. Friend, not mentor, remember? Right. Well, since you put it that way. He lets out a deep sigh and then nods. Yes, it was Russell. We joined the mentorship program around the same time. We even had the same training class together. I returned to my position beside the Aussie. So you really were friends, huh? Yeah. There was 4 of us who were really close. Me, Blake, Sam, and Russell. As he lists off the names, I know how I recognize all 4 of them. I was the quietest one, of course. But the other 3 really helped me bring me out of my shell. Especially Russell. If anything, I'd say he's the one to thank the most for showing me how to handle the mentorship job. Jeez. So what happened exactly? I've only heard bits and pieces of it, but never the full thing. I don't know if I should talk about it. Why not? The administration told us to keep it between us mentors. Sounds shady. Well, that explains why a small subset of students seem to know or care about Russell's presence. To be honest, I still don't know what to think. I don't think Russell would ever do such a thing, but everyone else believes it. His shoulders droop a bit. I was too scared to say otherwise. The way he dances around the topic is starting to get on my nerves. What happened? Chris has a hard time making eye contact with me. You're not friends with them anymore either, right? Oops. No, not really. I guess I don't have to hold back. There was a girl in the mentorship training class with us. Her name was Katie. I nod my head as he continues the story. She was a lot like Shay, actually. Beautiful smile, always had nice things to say about everyone. I never knew Russell had a thing for her. So it happened during spring break last semester. What did? The thing? Go on. Poor guy. This seems to be painful for him to recall. I still need answers. And right now, he's the only one offering. Every year, the school hosts a big party for students who stay on campus for spring break. Well, a few of us mentors were present for it, including Katie and Russell. From what I heard, Katie had just broken up with her long-term boyfriend of several years. I was compiling a collection of photos from the event for the mentorship program yearbook. God, they look so good together. My ears twitch as he continues on. I found them sitting together by the bonfire pit in front of the UC. Snapped a few pictures of them and didn't think much of it. They were laughing together and having a great time. But then I saw them sneak off towards the dorm. Oh. I already know where this is going, but the anticipation is starting to kill me. I don't know why I followed them, but I did. Saw them walk into Russell's dorm building, and I don't know what I was thinking. I was snapping pictures the whole time. Stupid. Stupid me. Why is that stupid? Because... let's out another sigh. At this point, we're hardly even running anymore. We've slowed down to merely a brisk walk. The pictures I took were the reason the rumor started. I feel a spike of adrenaline in my veins. What rumors? You know, the rumor that Russell did something to Katie. Why would anyone think that? Did she ever say anything? I don't know. I walk along with a dumbfounded expression. Then what gives? She withdrew from the school the next day. Huh? He shakes his head and frowns deeply. She never said anything to anybody, but her disappearance was enough proof for many. Along with my pictures. So you're telling me everyone made up a story in their heads using circumstantial evidence without ever having concrete proof? I suppose so. Yeah. That's fucked up, man. For some reason I feel sick in my stomach. And angry at Chris. So why were you gonna ask me to bring Russell back to lab? Do you believe the rumor? He stops to think. I don't know. Then why do you want a guy like him around your mentees? Jeez, I'm going right for the throat, huh? I can't control my anger, though. It wasn't what I wanted. It's what they wanted. Who's they? Blake and Sam. Huh? They had a plan. They wanted to corner him in our lab session so they could finally convince him to leave the school once and for all. You were just gonna let them do that? Even when you're not comfortable with it? Goes quiet again. Chris, you have to stand up for yourself. I can tell you're conflicted about the whole situation, but don't let these guys walk all over you either. I'm glad you didn't listen to me, Ben. What? I don't think things would have ended well if Russell showed up. For a brief second, I feel a pinching pain seemingly from within my skull. Ow! Something wrong? No, it's just... This whole thing's giving me a headache. Sorry. No, don't be. You've given me a lot to think about. I should be thanking you, really. Really? I nod my head. Here's something I don't understand, though. Couldn't this same scenario happen to you? What do you mean? He looks at me dumbfounded. I mean, think about it. You're dating Shay, a freshman, behind the backs of the other mentors. Isn't it strictly forbidden for mentors to date freshmen? What if that gets out? Won't you be in trouble too? I've thought about it. Sure. And technically the rule is that mentors cannot date their mentees. For a moment I'm taken aback. That is definitely a subtle difference that makes all the difference. But it's something I had to do. How so? I've never had a girlfriend before, Ben. Never been on a date before either. I listen silently as the Aussie explains himself. I was the quiet kid who never had many friends or people to talk to growing up. Shay's the first girl to ever approach me in that way. I guess a part of me was saying, don't miss your chance. Because when is anyone ever going to feel this way about you again? Chris. For some reason, he's managing to make me feel guilty about the way I've been treating him this month. I didn't realize you felt this way. I'm pretty pathetic, aren't I? No, that's not what I'm saying. I know. It's the truth, though. I guess I go through life pretending that things don't bother me even when they do. I've always put on a funny face and smile, hoping that everyone sees who I really am, and hoping nobody sees who I really am inside. This is a lot more than I bargained for. I didn't expect Chris to give me his life story. That's why I was shocked when Shay asked me out. She's the first girl that's ever seen the real me. And she still likes me. Yeesh. I need to lighten the mood here. Yeah, I can tell you two are on the same wavelength. How should I put this? I've talked to Shay a few times over the past few weeks. She's crazy about you, you know? She is? Yeah, she gushes about you all the time. She thinks you're the sweetest guy she's ever met. She really said that. More or less, yeah. That should raise his self-esteem a bit, I hope. I do have to ask, though, since I'm a curious cat. Have you two done it yet? What do you... Oh! He seems genuinely surprised at my insinuation. No, of course not. Why? Are we supposed to? Huh? I'll blink a few times. Not sure how to process this. Laughter ends up overflowing, though. What? The look on his face is so precious. I shouldn't be surprised he's still a virgin, even though he's dating her for a few weeks now. Definitely seems like the kind of guy you need to go slow with. Unlike me and Bryan. I shake my head and smile at Chris. It's nothing. Don't worry. There's no rush. Just didn't expect you to hold off on it after everything you said. To be honest, the idea never even crossed my mind. I shrugged my shoulders. Everyone's different, so don't feel pressured into doing it if she isn't pushing for it either. Thanks. The topic closed out. We run for a bit in silence. Why don't you tell me Why don't you tell me a bit about yourself too, Ben? I've been dying to get to know you better. Yeah. I fold my ears back. I should have expected it to come back my way. You don't have to if you don't want to. No, fair's fair after all. Not before I get in a quick tease. Though, isn't this kind of inappropriate? Huh? I don't know, feels like we're starting a relationship. Isn't that forbidden? It's not like that at all. I'm not trying to start a relationship with you, I swear. I wave my hands in front of me. Relax, dude, I'm just messing with you. Oh, okay. The truth is, I'm a lot like you. Not super comfortable sharing. She's right, mate. You don't have to. It's only fair if I do, since you poured your heart out to me. Just don't put it that way. Makes me sound bad. I decided to share a bit of my history with Chris. Though, I make sure to carefully skip around the parts that make me sound crazy. With a bit of a struggle, Chris and I managed to finally cross the finish line a little after 10:30. Naturally, Shay and Karina had made it long before us. Not surprising, given the pace they took the marathon at. The final times recorded for every patient, we separate ourselves from the crowd. Oh my god! Congratulations, Karina! I can't believe you managed to get 3rd place, doll. Have you seen her when she runs on the treadmill? This girl's a beast. Thanks, guys. Karina's surprisingly graceful in victory. I expect her to be rubbing her win in Shay's face. I've been telling you for weeks, girl. You should seriously consider going pro. I can already imagine you at the Olympics. Let's not get too hasty. Though that's definitely an idea I might consider later. I give her a light nudge on the shoulder. Pride always comes before the fall. Way to burst my bubble, Ben. Hey, Shay? Yes? Thanks. For what, doll? I've had bad experiences with other girls growing up. I can usually tell when someone's fake. But try as I might, I've never been able to see any of that in you. What are you trying to say? You're the most genuine girl I've ever met. Thank you for being such a good friend. And an excellent rival. The 4 of us laughed together, bonding over this shared experience. Never thought I'd see the day where Karina admits that she likes Shay. I'll admit. I ended up having a lot more fun with this marathon than I thought I would. Even though it was brief, I got to spend a little time with my best friend. And I got to know Chris a lot better. I even got more information to work with concerning Russell. Overall, I'd say today was a big win. Our celebration is cut short when a small army of police cruisers pull up. What the hell? They're surrounding us. Everyone stay calm and remain where you are. We just need to ask everyone some questions about what they might have seen this morning. The four of us exchange worried glances. I can tell they're all thinking the same thing. This is very familiar. Across the way from us, I managed to pick up on what other group is saying. Do you think it was that? I mean, I saw the police while I was running. I did too. They had covered an alley uptown with yellow tape. And alley. Sounds like it was bad. The hairs on my back and my neck suddenly stand on end. Close my eyes and take a deep breath. Steady breaths. I think I might have an idea of what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to leave it off here. Wow, these are some extensive episodes. Oh my gosh. Well, I have to give the Stormsinger team a lot of credit. They definitely are packing a lot of content each month, and I appreciate that. Admittedly, it's a lot. It means I have to catch up a lot more, but that's fine because we're still getting a lot out of it, and I really appreciate it. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm really happy that Chris opened up, and it really gives you a lot more nuance with Chris, because I almost thought he was just going to be kind of like the secret like bad guy, but in all reality it just, it seems like so far he just doesn't have much of a backbone, which, let's be honest with ourselves. And it's nice really knowing more about his relationship with Shay, and I'm just glad that from what we're seeing so far, the relationship's going well. I really hope the whole Bryan Diego thing sorts itself out, but it seems like Diego's kind of a dick. But we'll see, of course, in the future episodes. I just hope Ben lays back on Bryan a little bit. Like, I know Ben, because Ben is trying to treat this kind of like a relationship with him and Bryan. I know this is his route, and they probably will end up together, but like, but he does seem like he wants to be kind of possessive over Bryan, which is, hopefully he understands, for sure. So yeah, but I am pretty excited. We can already tell we're going into another nightmare sequence next episode. So until then, everyone, have a good day, I guess. I don't know. I'm not good at closing. I've been doing this for almost 2 years, and I still can't close a video for anything. So, but regardless, though, I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.